Hi guys, my name is Evan. I'm the owner and director of Bali Bliss Properties, a development company in Bali. Today I want to talk about 5 common mistakes people do when they want to buy property in Bali. The most common title to rent land in Bali is leasehold as a foreigner. So this means you're renting the land, because you cannot own the land, for a certain amount of time. Now, depending on who is the owner can make a big difference. The typical leasehold agreement has a duration of, let's say, 25 to 30 years, and then usually there is a clause for extension. And what does this really mean is that you have a priority for extension, but it's rarely a commitment from the landlord. So it is a possibility. People go crazy about it, like, oh, I don't see this 15-year clause of extension, or 10-year or 5. It doesn't matter basically, because if the landlord at that point doesn't want, I mean, they're not obligated to do it. But a way to go around this is either to make a clause that says that they have an obligation to extend, or like we do with one of our projects, we have the titles of the land for 80 years. In that case, we can commit that from the beginning for a guaranteed extension, and this makes a big difference. So it's one thing, the option for extension or priority for extension, which is the most common clause you find, and another thing, a guaranteed extension. So make sure, depending on what your investment plans are, to distinguish between the two on your contracts. Mistake number 2, no clear exit strategy. Before you commit on an investment, you really need to have clear goals of what you want to make out of the deal. Typically, an exit would fall either on reselling a property or not exiting basically, and use this investment as a passive income, so the rental that comes every month. If you come into an investment with a certain objective, such as resell, then your strategy on what you should buy is very different. You should be looking at getting very early at a project, getting it at the lowest possible pre-sale price, so then you have a lot of room, let's say, to mark up the price and sell it down the road. If, however, you don't mind, your goal is to have like a steady income every month, then it really doesn't matter. You find a property you like, even if it's at the finished stage, then great, because you see how it looks like, you can visualize and make the right valuations on how much income it will bring on a monthly basis, and then you go for it. Mistake 3, choosing a low demand location. So there are a few categories. If you really want to make sure that your villa in the future will perform well on the rental market, you need to go to the sought after locations, to the very popular locations, but that can be really costly. On the other hand, there are so many options outside of these popular locations that are very cheap, but not all of them will perform well. We have spent a lot of time and we have a lot of experience by managing our own villas. And we can recommend where it makes sense to buy, where we strike the perfect balance between not overpaying for the land and the location, while it's still going to perform very, very well. Final mistake, underestimating the role of property management company. When buying the villa or the apartment or any real estate in Bali, it doesn't matter how beautiful or how well situated it is, if the person who is marketing it and maintaining it is not doing their job well, you're not going to maximize the return on investments, on your investment potential. So I urge any one of you, right after selecting a property to buy or any investment in real estate, to make sure you pay a very close attention with whom you're going to work on the rental market. Concluding, I would say investing in Bali can be really rewarding, but at the same time, there are so many risks and pitfalls. So anyone who wants to invest needs to do this with the right intention and have their eyes open. So just to recap, you need to pay attention on the legal issues, let's say the titles of the land and all the due diligence that comes with it. You want to make sure that you choosing the right location. You want to make sure that you come into this investment with the right intention. So is it to flip the asset, or is it to keep it as a passive income? Last but not least, make sure you work with the right people, do your research, get in touch with us. We're offering all consultation needed for you guys to make an informed decision. We are transparent, we are open, and we urge you to do your own research. Contact us for a free consultation now.